San Joaquin County Office of Education Local Control Accountability Plan Training, planning to ensure today's students will be tomorrow's leaders. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the Local Control Funding Formula, commonly referred to as L.C.A.P, and the Local Control Accountability Plan, commonly referred to as L.C.A.P. If you are watching this, you are most likely a parent, staff member, student, or community member. Your knowledge will assist you in giving the input your local educational agency needs to create an L.C.A.P for 2016-2017 that reflects the needs of our staff and our students. For the past 3 years, California schools have been funded under a new system called L.C.A.P. The intent of this new system is for local school districts to have more say on how they spend state funds. Part of the legislation that governs the funding requires each district to write a 3-year plan each year called the L.C.A.P. This presentation will assist you in understanding both the funding and the L.C.A.P requirements. So let's start with the funding itself. Local control funds are composed of 3 types of funds. The base grant, which is tied to how many students attend the local education agency. The other 2 types of funds are supplemental and concentration, which are generated by English learners, foster students, and low-income students. For funding purposes, these students are often referred to as L.C.A.P unduplicated students. This is because even if they are in more than one of the specially funded groups, they are only counted once. L.C.A.P supplemental dollars are intended to ensure equitable achievement for all student groups. Therefore, the legislation provides for extra funding for the L.C.A.P unduplicated students who have historically shown lower achievement scores in metrics such as graduation rate, test scores, and completion of classes that qualify students to attend California universities directly from high school. For local educational agencies who have an unduplicated population over 55%, there is more flexibility, which allows for supplemental funds to be spent district-wide. However, even with flexibility, the local educational agency has to show that when funds are spent district-wide, how the use of these funds still is principally directed at improving achievement for the unduplicated L.C.A.P students. In general, base grant funds are used for salaries, benefits, and operating expenses, while supplemental funds are used for professional development, interventions, and school climate programs. Now, onto the plan, the L.C.A.P. The L.C.A.P identifies 8 priority areas as metrics to measure the quality of an educational program. These 8 priorities are basic services, pupil achievement, pupil engagement, course access, implementation of state standards, parent involvement, school climate, and other student outcomes. The L.C.A.P is made up of 3 parts. Part 1 is a stakeholder input section. Part 2 contains both the goals section and the annual report. In the goals section, we list the actions and services we will perform to ensure the goals are met. In the annual report, the LEA reports on the success of the previous year's actions and services. Section 3 is a narrative explaining the use of supplemental funds. While all parts are important, your particular attention should be paid to the goals and actions and services. This is where you, as a parent, staff member, student, or community member, add what is needed. So looking at the goals, the actions, and services, please consider these questions. Are the goals, actions, and services appropriate? Are we implementing them fully? Do we continue the current actions and services? What more do we need to do? What are our local priorities? There are many ways to share your findings. Attend an advisory council on the L.C.A.P, speak with your union representatives, give input to site administrators, email local educational agency leaders, or return any L.C.A.P surveys. With your voice and your ideas, today's students will be tomorrow's leaders.